Hi, I'm Miss Cheaves, and I'm here to do some fun lessons today since we're all having to stay at home, but we can still learn together. Our first standard is that we're going to know and apply grade level phonics and word analysis skills in decoding words. So I have a book that we're going to read about short U words. It's called Just in Time, and you might recognize some of the characters in this book. They're from Spider-Man, and my classroom is actually themed Spider-Man, so I'm pretty excited. Miles and his friend are at the zoo. Uh-oh, the animals run. The rhino, the guys jump out of the way. Spider-Man pulls the rhino up. Thump, the rhino pushes Spider-Man. Miles must put on his spider suit. Miles punches the rhino. Spider-Man gets under the rhino. The rhino bucks. They tie him up. Yum, time for some food and fun. So we're going to go back and think about some of the short U words we heard in that book. One of the first words I heard was run. Let's go ahead and tap that out together. So get your fingers up at home while you're doing this with me. Run. Run. Another word was when Spider-Man had to jump to save the rhinoceros. So let's go ahead and tap that one. Jump. And then when they were jumping, they went up, up. Here we have a sound that the rhinoceros made, and I see our diagraph, so make sure that we underline it. TH is two letters that come together to make one sound. Thump, because the rhinoceros is so heavy that he makes a really loud sound when he walks, so he thumps. Must. Let's tap that one out together. Must. And then when things got really crazy, there were some punches thrown. Punches. And we have another diagram. CH is two letters that comes together to say ch. Under. When they were looking for the animals, some of them were under things. Under. And ER is one of our R-controlled vowels. ER says When the animals were acting really crazy, they tried to pull away, and you could say that the animal was bucking or bucks. Bucks. CK is also a digraph. Two letters that come together to make one sound. So we're going to underline that. When they ate their delicious food, they said, yum. Yum. And at the end, they said that they had a fun day. Fun. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into our main read aloud. So the standard for that is that we want to identify the main topic and retell key details of a text. So as we're reading, we're going to look for the main idea, what the book is all about, and look for the small parts, the key details that support that main idea. So before we read, we're going to look at our strategy. My favorite way to teach main idea is about pizza, because my class knows I love pizza so much. So when you think about main idea, you want to think about what is the whole thing about, and then what are your little details, the little parts of your pizza. So the main idea of this drawing is pizza. That's what I want to eat for dinner tonight. But then pizza isn't always that good if it's just plain cheese. So I want some fun details on my pizza to support my main idea of pizza. So detail 1 is going to be my red pepperonis. Detail 2 is going to be some delicious mushrooms. And detail 3 is going to be some green bell peppers because I want a lot of flavor on my pizza. So when we read, we're going to ask ourselves, what is the text mostly about? And then we're going to go back and focus on these 4 main questions. How do I find the main idea? I'm going to look at the title and headings, look at the pictures, look for words used more than once, and I'm going to reread the first and last sentence. So try to keep this in your mind as we read our nonfiction text so that we can find the main idea and the key details. I know that a lot of my students love their pets so much, and they've been showing them to me when we video chat. So I thought that this would be a really good book because it's all about how to keep your pets and all kinds of animals healthy. What does a veterinarian do? And it's by Karen Alexander. You love your pet cat. You love your friend's dog. Your favorite place is the zoo. Your favorite TV shows are about animals. You wanted a closer look at the snake that visited your garden. And there's a lion, and I want to see if you at home can do your best lion roar with me. Are you ready? Roar! If you really like being with animals, you might like being a vet. Vets are animal doctors. They take care of sick or injured animals. They teach people how to care for animals. Vets train for about 8 years. They go to college for the first 4 years. At college, they learn all about animals. They learn about their bones, they learn about their organs and tissues. They learn how to keep an animal healthy. After college, the vets go to another school. They still have a lot to learn. They need to practice working with animals. They spend time working in a clinic. They might also spend time at someone's farm if they want to work with horses or larger animals, or maybe at an aquarium or a zoo. Sick animals cannot tell a vet what is wrong. So a vet needs to understand animals. It's kind of like a little baby can't talk to us, so you have to use clues to figure out what it wants. So a vet, in a way, is sort of like being a detective. An animal with a sore throat or a sore tooth may have stopped eating. An animal that is hurt may growl when it is touched. Vets get to do many different kinds of work. Some vets take care of pet animals, such as hamsters. Some vets take care of farm animals, such as turkeys. Some vets take care of large animals, such as tigers. Some vets take care of animals in zoos. Some vets work in a lab. They study ways to keep animals healthy. Some vets look after animals that have been harmed by disasters, such as oil spills. Some vets help to save endangered animals. Being a vet is important work. Okay, we're going to look back at our anchor chart and make sure that we can use our strategy to figure out what was the main idea of this book. I need to know what is the text mostly about. So how do I find the main idea? First, I'm going to look at the title and the headings. So my title is, What Does a Veterinarian Do? That gives me an idea about what the book is about. I'm pretty sure it's going to be about a vet. But I still need to know more. I can't just get it from the title alone. So I'm going to look at the headings. In a nonfiction text, there's often headings. Here we kind of have it chopped up page by page on the topics of what they do. And the pictures help me too. So when I'm looking at the pictures, I see that this lady is helping this little girl with her rabbit. I see a cow and they're outside. It looks like they've changed places. Then they're back inside with a cat and a dog. It looks like they're looking at an x-ray, kind of like when people go to the doctor and their bones are broken or something is wrong inside. And then it looks like we're back outside. There's a horse, but one thing that is staying consistent in every picture is I keep seeing animals, all different types of animals, and it looks like they're helping the animals. And here it really, you can tell that something is wrong with this tiger and they are really trying to help it. So I'm starting to think maybe the main idea is that vets help animals stay healthy. This picture is a little bit different than the rest of the pictures. I don't see an animal in here. I just see someone with a white coat on studying at a lab. But when I read the text, I realize it's still about helping animals stay healthy because they're studying to find new medications. And my last picture shows me a vet looking into the eyes of a monkey so that he can help make sure that it's seeing right. So that ties back into vets help animals stay healthy. Look for words used more than once. So this is really important when you go back and reread. The words that I keep seeing in the text are animals. I see that almost on every page, and I see the word vet. I also keep seeing phrases like take care of sick or injured animals, teach people how to care for animals. And that goes all the way through the whole book. I see the word healthy throughout the book. And again, I'm seeing more of the word animals on every page. I see the words what is wrong. And so that tells me that a vet is trying to fix what is wrong with an animal so that it can stay healthy. Our last strategy is to reread the first and the last sentence. So I'm going to go back. And it says, you love your pet cat. But really the first sentence too is kind of in the title, what does a veterinarian do? And then I'm going to look at my last sentence. Some vets help to save endangered animals. Being a vet is important work. And that ties back into this text is mostly about veterinarians helping animals stay healthy. Some of our key details are that they help pets. They can help big animals like out on a farm. I think another key detail that's really important is when they talk about how long a vet studies so that they have all this knowledge to help your animal. Vets train for about 8 years. They go to college for the first 4 years. And then it talks about afterwards, after college, they go to a clinic to work with animals. So I think that's another important key detail. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go on to our math standard. Tell and write time in hours and half hours using analog and digital clocks. So, telling time is super important. If we didn't know how to tell time and we didn't have clocks, we wouldn't make it to school or work on time. We would miss the big game that we wanted to watch. It would be all over the place. Time helps us stay organized. It's a way of measuring out our day so we know what to do and when to do it. This book is called Tell the Time, and it is about Vampirina and her daily schedule, and the clock is going to help us figure out how she knows when to do what. And this clock is called an analog clock, and you have your hour hand and your minute hand, and they move so that you can tell the time. And the pictures in the book are going to help us figure out what time it is. Meet the Huntleys, Boris, Oksana, and their daughter Vampirina. Her friends call her V. The Huntleys are a little different from their neighbors. They're vampires. They run a hotel for monsters in Pennsylvania with their friends Demi, Gregoria, and their dog Wolfie. You might think vampires and humans are different, but actually they have a lot in common. So this book is a little bit different too than our book we read about the vet. This book is definitely a fiction book because vampires are not real, but it's still fun to read about them. Wake up, screamy head, Demi says. It's time to get ready for school. Vampirina starts her day just like a regular kid. She wakes up, gets dressed, and eats breakfast. Today she has spider eggs and ghost toast. Delicious. It is 8 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to wake up. Move the hands on the clock to show 8 o'clock. So this illustration is telling me where to put the hands to read 8 o'clock. I'm going to put my long black hand on the 12. And then I'm going to make sure my shorter purple hand is on the 8 to show 8 o'clock. What time do you wake up at home? You could draw your own clock and put the hands where you wake up. Vampirina gets ready for school. She has a backpack, a lucky troll pen, and a monster ruler. At school, V gets to see her friends and learn cool things like spelling and mathemagics. So that's like a funny nonsense word they made up, mathemagics, because when we go to school, we learn mathematics, but they learn mathemagics. Maybe they're learning how to do magic. It is 9 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to go to school. Move the hands on the clock to show 9 o'clock. So my black minute hand is going to stay the same on the 12 for o'clock, and my hour hand is going to move to the 9. The purple hand is on the 9 to show 9 o'clock. What time do you go to school? It's story time at school, and today it is Vampirina's turn to read to the class. She is so excited that she zooms to the front of the room at vampire speed. Papers and pencils go flying everywhere. Whoops! It is 10 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to read a story. Move the hands on the clock to show 10 o'clock. So again, my black hand is going to stay on the same one. And then my short purple hand is going to move to the 10. So I have my hour hand on the 10 and my minute hand on the 12. And I read that as 10 o'clock. What time do you like to read? Vampirina loves to go to the art room with her friends Poppy and Bridget. They share their ideas and paint pictures together. Their teacher, Mr. Gore, shows them how to do new things. Sometimes they make mistakes, but they always try their very best. It is 11 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to paint a picture. Move the hands on the clock to show 11 o'clock. So my purple hand is going to move to the 11. My purple hand is my hour hand, and my minute hand is going to stay right there on the 12. What time do you like to paint pictures? It is lunchtime. At school, V has an apple and a sandwich, but her favorite food is goulash, a savory stew based on a secret family recipe. It's made with magic. It is 12 o'clock noon. It's time for Vampirina to eat lunch. Move the hands on the clock to show 12 o'clock. So here, you really can only see the black hand because they're both on the same number. When it's 12 o'clock, both the hour hand and the minute hand go on the 12. What time do you eat lunch? School is out. Vampirina invites her friends to come over to play, then hops on her scooter and zips home. V's dog, Wolfie, greets her at the door. V has to be careful he doesn't scare the neighbors. It is 3 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to go home from school. Move the hands on the clock to show 3 o'clock. So my purple hour hand is going to go all the way past the 1, past the 2, to the 3, and my minute hand is going to stay on the 12. What time do you go home from school? Later in the afternoon, Poppy, Bridget, and Edgar come over. They have a spooktacular afternoon playing hide and shriek and zombie tag. The time flies, just like a bat. It is 4 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to play with her friends. Move the hands on the clock to show 4 o'clock. So I'm going to move my purple hour hand to the 4, and it had kind of fallen down there, so it's on the 4, and our minute hand is still on the 12. What time do you play with your friends? When her friends leave, Vampirina helps tidy the house. The Hauntleys work together so everything is just right for their guests at the Scare B&B. They want all their visitors to have a frightfully good time when they arrive. It is 5 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to help around the house. Move the hands on the clock to show 5 o'clock. So my purple hour hand is going to point to the 5, and my black minute hand is still pointing to the 12. So she is making it all the way almost around this clock as we go through her day. What time do you help around the house? Vampirina is hungry after her busy day. Chef Remy Bones makes V and her parents a bewitching meal of stuffed pumpkin and deviled eggs. Then it's ladyfingers for dessert. It is 6 o'clock. It's dinner time for Vampirina. Move the hands on the clock to show 6 o'clock. So our hour hand is going to go down to the 6 for 6 o'clock. What time do you eat dinner? After dinner, Vampirina likes to spend time with her family. They hang out together, talking and laughing until it's time for bed. It is 7 o'clock. It's family time for Vampirina. Move the hands on the clock to show 7 o'clock. So we want our purple hour hand to be on the 7 and our minute hand to stay on the 12. What time is family time in your house? It was a busy day for Vampirina. Now it's bedtime. Shriek dreams, V, says Oksana as she turns on the sun lamp. Goal night, V, says Boris as he tucks her in. V may be a vampire, but at the end of the day, she's a lot like you and me. It is 8 o'clock. It's time for Vampirina to go to bed. Move the hands on the clock to show 8. So our hour hand is going to go to the 8, and our minute hand is going to go to the 12. What time do you go to bed? Thank you for watching my lesson today. I hope you enjoyed the read-alouds, and stay safe and stay at home.